Have you ever wondered how the Niger Delta militants came to life? It began with anger and silence. When the rivers turned black and the people's cries went unheard, a new kind of movement rose from the creeks. From peaceful protests to gunfire echoing across the swamps, their story became one of struggle, hope, and survival. Watch till the end to uncover how it all began and how it finally found peace. I still remember when the rivers around Portharcourt were alive. You could hear fishermen singing before dawn, paddles tapping the water like soft drums. After the introduction of oil, everything changed. The river lost its color, fish stopped coming, the air smelled of crude. We were told the oil would bring progress, that it would build schools, roads, and jobs. But the truth was different. The wealth passed through us, not to us. Companies made millions, yet my village was left with leaking pipes and empty promises. That was when frustration started growing, quiet at first, but strong, like a tide waiting to rise. By the early 1990s, people began to speak out. Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni movement gave us courage. They spoke for the land, for the rivers, for the people forgotten by power. But when he mysteriously passed on in 1995, it broke something inside many of us. It felt like peace itself had been killed that day. Some people said enough was enough. They disappeared into the creeks, formed groups, and carried guns. They said they were fighting for justice. They said if no one would listen, then they would make the world listen. And from that silence, the militants were born. Those were dark years. Between 2003 and 2009, fear ruled the Niger Delta. You could hear explosions in the night and see smoke rising from the swamps. The army came, the militants fought back, and innocent people ran for their lives. Oil stopped flowing like before. The companies packed up, and the world started asking questions about what was really happening in Nigeria's oil heart. Some militants still fought for the people, but others were drawn by money. Lines blurred between freedom and greed. Portharcourt was no longer the city of laughter. It became a city that never slept, a place where people looked over their shoulders even in daylight. Then, one day, in 2009, a new message came. The government offered peace, an amnesty for all who would surrender their arms. Many thought it was a trick, but hope can be a stubborn thing. Thousands came out from hiding. They gave up their weapons and went through training, some even traveling abroad. For the first time in a long while, the creeks were quiet. You could hear the sound of birds again, and fishermen slowly returned. It wasn't perfect. Many promises were delayed, and corruption still haunted the process. But it was a beginning. A fragile one, but a beginning all the same. Now, when I walk by the water, I see a different picture. The river still carries the scars of oil and time, but there is movement. Traders, boats, laughter returning to the docks. The young ones are finding new ways to speak, through art, through books, through voices that don't need guns to be heard. The story of Portharcourt's militants is not just about war. It's about what happens when a people are forgotten and how they find their way back when peace finally knocks again. The creeks have learned to breathe, and so have we. The river, once angry, now whispers its lesson. Never let silence become your only voice. Big House Tales is dedicated to bringing you the best audiovisual episodes. Hit the like button if you've learned something. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this episode. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next episode. See you on the next episode.